The truth is, if you want to control a society, you need to control the men because it's the men which riot and cause revolution. It's men who can fight, it's men who can make a serious change. I mean, women can scream and complain, but they can be largely ignored. But when men start to riot, you have problems. So how do you avoid that? Well, you make sure the men don't have enough will or enough gumption to put up to resist the absolute shit show they're being forced to put up with because of the truth. Life for 99% of men in the Western world is awful, and most of them know it, and most of them feel it. And still, they will continue to pay their taxes and go to their job and sit inside their sexless marriage because they've lost their will to resist. And this is done very specifically. This is done on purpose. It's not an accident, because otherwise people would stand up and say, wait, what? The price of everything's doubled in the last 10 years. My wages are the same. What's going on? But no one cares. So it's a very conscious effort to damage the psyche and the fighting spirit of masculine men. Truly believe we live in a matriarchal society in the West. There are a lot of people on Twitter. There are guys in the red pill space and the right-wing space who always talk about patriarchy and how they're gonna establish a patriarchal household and all this stuff. And I try and explain the laws in Western countries prevent you from ever being a patriarch, right? If your woman at any point decides to lie and say you hit her, right, and the law, they will come and arrest you. Yeah. How can you be a patriarch in a matriarchal society where females have the entire power of the law to destroy you at will? You can't. So the truth is, the reason most men act the way they do is because they know that if push comes to shove, the entire force of the legal system will always side with the female. So why does the man come home after working a long, 10, 11 hours, ask for a cup of coffee? His woman tells him off and continues to have no sex for 3 or 4 years. His kids don't respect him. He's semi-depressed and nearly suicidal, but he doesn't get a divorce. Well, we know why, because what's the option? You're gonna lose the house. You're gonna lose the kids. You're gonna be stuck paying for her bills and allowing her to go on endless dates. You're out of the game because it's extremely difficult to find a mate nowadays unless you're a high-value man. So what choice do you have? It's a matriarchal society. Females have all the power in the West, so, right, like any society, if you're the class which is attacked, or the class which is ostracized, which men are, you're gonna lose your fighting spirit. You're just gonna think, well, the best way to survive is just to be nice to everybody. You did that and what's happened? Because there is, unless you have that spark, unless you have what it takes to try, build a unique life and build a life that puts you beyond the controls of these enforcement mechanisms, then the safest way to live is to be a simp. And I know that's a controversial take. And my point was very simple. My point is that depression is an instinct inside men. And it's something that is designed to show you that you need to change something about your life. If like you go to jail and you're depressed, it's not because you've caught depression, it's because you're in jail that this is why. So if you feel depressed, you need to wake up and go, well, why am I? And how can I change this? I had people message me saying, you don't understand how it feels. I'm fat and I can't get a girlfriend because I'm depressed. I said, no, you're depressed because you're fat and you can't get a girlfriend. Right, you got a long way around. Crazy. So, what happens when you take away a man's speech? If a man's not free to talk, what's a man free to do? That's the first way you demasculize a man. You tell him to shut up. I say this to people who are depressed. Well, life's depressing. You're getting old. You're gonna die. You know there's a whole bunch of people with a bunch more money than you. Welcome to the real world. Life's depressing. Are you a baby? Are you gonna cry about it? Are you gonna do something about it? Like, life is depressing. Who told? Tell me where it says in the human handbook that we're supposed to be happy all of the time. Right. We're not supposed to be happy. We're supposed to survive. Now, if you're a man, you can survive even if you're miserable. I say this all the time. Gives me depression. You wouldn't even notice. This is what pisses them off because they're like, oh yeah, you wouldn't be able to function. I guarantee I can still drive my Lambo and meet women. I guarantee you are right. Driving because I refuse. I refuse to be such a baby that I'm gonna sit there and go, well, I feel a certain way so I have to act a certain way. No, one of the #1 tenets of masculinity, it's probably the primary tenet of masculinity, is acting differently from how you are. This is the primary tenet of masculinity. Do you think the men on the Titanic felt like dying? No, but they acted a certain way because they were men. The women and the children are afraid and they're gonna run. I'm afraid and I'm gonna stay here because I'm a man. As a man, you have to control your emotions. So I don't give a shit. If you're depressed, there's no excuse to not be an adult and make sensible decisions based on discipline alone. I'm too depressed to train. No, you lack purpose. Because I felt miserable. Every single person has. I didn't miss a gym session ever. So I don't believe in that crap. I don't believe in it, and I don't believe in it because I know that the true cure to fixing people is to tell them. Here's the example. I said if I moved into a house and I heard squeaks in the night, and I don't believe in ghosts, I'm gonna attribute it to the wind and go back. If I move into the same house and hear the same squeaks, but I'm a big believer in ghosts, I'm gonna start being scared. I'm gonna call an exorcist. I'm gonna say it's a ghost. So my point is, the same situation gets worse based primarily on my belief. If you don't believe in depression, you can't be depressed. Right. All you can be is okay. I feel a bit pissed off. Time to get up and go get it. Let's hit the gym. Bang, hit the club. I'm gonna make some things happen. But if you do believe in depression, the second you feel sad, the first thing you do is sit down and go, this isn't my fault. I feel this way. I have a disease and nothing's gonna make me better, and you're gonna get worse. So, this is the whole point. This is what was amazing. If depression is so horrible, why are you all defending it? But they want to defend it because it's an identity. It's something that allows them to. Individuality is something that allows them to. It's an excuse. It's an already made excuse for all of life's failures. I'm a loser, but it's not my fault. It's the depression. It is a coping mechanism. If you've been through some real moments in a war, fine, you could be depressed. If you're just average Joe and nothing's happened to you, you have no reason. I'd say, look, you've got a fantastic life.